Right, in this video, I'm going to show the best tool that I found so far for handling split rings. These are awesome for both split rings big and small. The small ones in particular are the ones that are tough, and you need a tool like this to handle those. So most importantly is that it's small, it's compact, it's easy, and it's a multi-tool. You can use it to cut braid, to cut really any kind of line of all sizes. It's awesome. But for split rings in particular, highly recommend just getting a tool that has this very small, this very thin and sharp point on it. That's what opens up the split rings. That's what will enable you to effectively open up even the smallest split rings with ease. And this is much easier and more effective than having this little split ring point on the end of more bulky pliers, so that when you're actually using it, those bulky pliers kind of get in the way. And so here's how it works, and I'll show you some just how to do it on the. We'll use this lure, for example. This is our Moonwalker, the new topwater. This is the first prototype that came in. The hooks were too small, and we did not want this split ring on the nose, and the split rings were too small. So we have a lot of changes to make, so I thought I'd just go ahead and make this video to show it in action. So number one, we'll just show how to get a split ring off the top. So for topwaters, we actually don't recommend using a split ring or any sort of metal on the top. If you have something heavy, that's going to pull your line down, and that's going to be a more likely chance that your line is going to get snagged onto your hook as you're retrieving the lure. So instead, we want to use a loop knot, no hardware. And so what we do is we just angle it so that we can see the opening in the split ring. You can see there, split rings, they have basically two layers, and then on the opening, there's going to be a gap. And so we have it pointed towards us, and we get the split ring so that the point is outside, our tool, so that the tip, the point is outside of the split ring. And we go in about, let's say 2 millimeters from the edge. And so before I do it, so one tip on these little small split rings like this is you need to go in at an angle. If you go in just like this, right, that tool, you can't really stab. It's at least tougher to stab right in the middle. So go in at a little bit of an angle. That way you can more easily get that point right in that split ring. And then all you do is just put a little pressure on it. You can now see that split ring open. And so now with the split ring open, now we can just thread it onto, over this eye of the lure, and now we're good to go. And once you get to this point, you can just easily just turn it around, right? Just kind of circle it around, and it'll eventually come right off. Done. So as for changing hooks, there's a trick too, just to make it quicker. And so I'll show you on this first one. We want to replace it with a bigger hook, right? We want to have basically the biggest hook we can handle that doesn't get stuck in the line. This is a good size for this lure. And so what we do is we'll start with the same premise, right? We find the gap. Let's find the gap on that split ring. We lay the hook down so that we can at least see it, but it's underneath the gap. We go through the same process. Let me just go ahead and hold it. Go through the same process where we get that split ring at an angle, get that tip in there, and then we're going to now start it with the hook. But before we take this hook off, we might as well go ahead and put this new hook on there. And so one tip on doing this is we want to make sure that it ends up at the same orientation, right? We want this hook to be pointing forward to the front of the lure. And so we just use the same orientation as the one that we're taking off. And let me go ahead and actually just kind of get it a little bit out of the way, and then that way I can get this tool in there and actually really make it wide. So now we're going to get that out of the way. Now we can slide this on. Again, while this other one is still on, so now we have both of them. So now I'll just leave it. So now we have both of them on the split ring. And so now we can simply thread them both at the same time. And the one is going to come off while the other one comes on there, and we are basically killed two birds with one stone. So this one, the small one is about to pop off. There it is. The big one just popped on. So now we can take the small one off. The big one's on. Now we're good to go, right? And we just do the same exact thing for the back hook. Show the small side, get it at an angle, make sure that the tip goes right in the middle of the split ring, pull it out, and then we're good to go. So that's it. Just wanted to feature this tool. I won't bother showing you again. It's a pretty simple process, but it's really all about the tool. The efficiency is really about the tool, not the technique. And so just make sure, again, you can get these. We do have these available to the public on our site, fishstrong.com, on our tackle store. And if you're a member, you can get a significant discount. But again, just make sure to get something small, something that's compact, it's easy to carry. Ideally, it can cut braid, and even have little pliers too if you need it, right? Just to have some multiple uses out of it. But make sure, again, especially if you're dealing with small split rings, make sure that this point is very sharp. It's crucial for the small ones, and it's just so much easier for the big ones. So if you have any questions about this, leave a comment down below. Love to hear from you. And if you'd like to pick these up, I'll put a link down below on our store. It's on fishstrong.com. You can pick up a pair of these. I actually recommend getting multiple. They're so inexpensive. They're $10, and then you can save 20% as an insider. They're much less expensive than the big bulky ones that are actually way less effective. And the fact that they're such good cutters of line. This is now what I use for all of my rigging. I now have like 5 of them. I keep a couple in the boat, a couple in my tackle box, a couple in the house. I just always want to be ready to rig as efficiently as possible, and these help me do that. So I'll put a link down below for this. So any questions at all, leave a comment down below. Otherwise, if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America, because we actually guarantee you'll be catching more fish while saving money on all the tackle you need. We do this through our premium education, our exclusive insider community, and huge discounts on all the tackle you need. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.